I would find my bed adulterated.
Do you want to take a few minutes?
Finding a woman in my bed, my Lord. And they are not just talking, they are praying.
Yes, my Lord.
You know, I have ever been a family court judge.
Yes.
At the High Court in Uganda.
Yes, my Lord.
And we had many stories, both of women and men.
Yes, my Lord.
Where you meet a person and they tell you you are the only thing I have ever seen. Just like we have this story, we also have stories of women in this country.
Yes, my Lord.
Who are so happy about meeting a man. Yes. And while they're having that special moment of talking about their happiness, the woman gives away, even signs transfers of land, out of happiness. Now, in your case, it wasn't happiness. It was actually purported sorrow. You know, one of the things I find interesting about human beings is how much we are capable of, So he told you he was very lonely. Is that right? And he looked lonely.
Yes,
and miserable. Were you also aware that between the moments he met you and other moments, he was actually still meeting his wife? And they would even hold family weddings, and family parties, and family baptisms, and family this, and family the other. In between that, I'm lonely, and there are even pictures.
Yes, my Lord.
You are aware?
I was not aware about everything behind that issue. I just got the story from him, and
how, you believed him.
And how he was looking. Even his later, when we were joined by his relatives, they started telling me the story. And he changed from Alkauzu, from what he changed immediately, he stabilized.
So Edith came on the scene and the man changed.
Yes, my Lord.
Not bad. It's not bad. If a person stops being an alcoholic, there's nothing bad about that. Do you think that just because his relatives said you are the thing, just because he stopped drinking, just because he told you that he was unhappy, that alone was enough to erase the past, the fact that he was actually married, the fact that the marriage had not been dissolved, the fact that he actually had a subsisting relationship? Do you think moments of saying, I was unhappy, now I am happy, but the relatives say you are now the thing, do you think that would change the law?
Yes, my Lord. Even we have a video after his retirement. When I may say Satan took away the love of his own family, he took some relatives, the nephews and nieces loved him. They made a surprise. They make a surprise party for his retirement. Those videos are in court. The lawyer took them to court. He was telling he was saying this about his life.
Yes. But did he ever show you a decree saying that this is the decree? Moreover, the decree has to be absolute.
Yes,
not nice side.
Yes, my Lord.
Absolute. To say, by the way, I am divorced. Now we can start. You see, the problem with the law is that the law is rather stubborn and obstinate. You have to do things. You see, if you choose to go to church and say, I am marrying in church, you cannot contract another marriage in any other way until you end the one that happened in the what?
Yes.
Do you agree or you don't agree?
I am absolutely agree with
So
that.
do you think a video of showing how happy he is and
He was talking about his life and
yes,
the
and,
marriage.
yes, and I'm saying, do you think that would vitiate the fact that he was married properly to somebody else?
No, it didn't. He remained a married man on the other side because they was not yet separated or dissolved the marriage officially.
Do you think under our laws he could contract any other marriage? Any other? It doesn't matter if it's customary, Islamic, Indian, Hindu, African, whatever.
Yes, my lord.
Do you think he could contract any other marriage
Yes.
before dissolving the first one?
Yes.
Using which law?
No, he could get a customary marriage.
That's what I'm asking. Do you think he could get into a customary marriage before annulling the first marriage?
My lord, when you are taking me deep in the laws, I'm wondering about the laws. Maybe you will help me or guide you, show me how it would be. But
when this happened, if someone was in your situation today, what would you advise them? This one is showering her with love, showing her all this affection, giving her the whole world, assuring her that she's the only one today and forever. If it was your daughter today, and I've told you what the law says,
I could tell anybody. I have a quotation from somewhere. I didn't know I got it from the internet. On internet on phone. I could tell anybody in the marriage that I was in, that marriage doesn't guarantee that you will be together forever. It's on a paper. It takes trust, respect, and commitment.
what is marriage? In the context of what we have just talked
When
about.
two people agree to live together and make a home.
Really?
That's my explanation, my lord.
Are you therefore recommending to this commission that the law in Uganda should be amended so that...
No, my lord. You were asking me
What
how
is marriage?
I could advise someone in the marriage.
I was saying, and just to get my context right, you find a man.
Yes, my lord.
He's a professor.
Yes.
He's very well known. He's very articulate. He has a tongue. He convinces you, showers you with love.
Yes, my lord.
But he's married. He is married in church or by civil, in which case it means it is one man, one woman for life until death parts them. Now you are a 33-year-old. You meet, I'm saying, that's why I was asking you that. Tell me, if it was today and this was your daughter, how would you advise her? You find this man, he convinces you that, by the way, even if the law says I cannot contract another marriage until I end the other one, for me, I'm going to pay cows to your parents, even if that is meaningless. Yes, because in law it is meaningless. But this is what he convinces you. And the reason I'm soliciting your view is, if you found yourself in this situation, because it can happen again, you are still young. If you found yourself in this situation again, would it help that you know a bit of the law, that you seek a bit of legal advice before you jump into the next relationship?
My lord, even here I'm learning something. So you do things according how you can learn something about that. Even the laws you are talking about,
you are ignorant about
the laws. But as of now, not even now, since I started this wars,
do you realize that you are now at the center of these wars?
Yes,
and I'm glad you've even said, since you started these wars,
I learned a lot.
You've learned a lot. Would it help if you also learned to give and take? To give and take.
To give
and take. Take some, leave some.
He had a piece of land in Chai Forest, government forestry, for his research. He went to Vale for a research work.
Were you with him?
No. But he told me.
He told you?
Yes.
And you believed him?
Yes.
Do you realize you believed so many things about this guy? I don't know. If it was your daughter, would you tell her to believe so much?
But later, I could.
Right.
I believe because later, after telling me, later the matter would come out. The truth of the matter would come out.
Well, you remember, though you must remember we are playing with a scientist here. He's playing games here. He's a scientist. His world is those plants. If he tells you a little bit about a little plant today, he knows a million other things about that plant that he won't tell you. Why I'm asking you whether you believed him is whether you really believe, whether you really, really believe that there is no other explanation to his being desolate and dissatisfied other than what he told you.
Yes, my Lord.
That's what you believe. You are very believing, I must say. Do you also therefore believe that when he was away in Chivad, wherever he was, very depressed, because he was depressed. You met him depressed. So the issue of his being depressed was not new, because you met him looking depressed. And you seem to have contributed to his well-being,
Yes,
as it were. So in a state of depression, whatever it was, let us call it unhappiness, because depression looks like a big word. In that state, with an unpaid loan, with his name being publicized as having failed to pay a loan.
Yes, my Lord.
Do you think if he got a 50 million donation from the president, a man who is depressed, who is saying, I'm finished, who is saying, I am gone, I can't even pay back a loan, you think a man like that wouldn't have run with his check himself to recoup some of his pride, to personally walk into NPAT and pay his bills? Do you think he would let that woman, because I'm sure that's how you think of her?
I'm respecting her, my Lord. I used to call Madame Grace. I've never called him that woman.
Oh.
I've been calling her Madame Grace.
Yes. Do you think that for a man with that kind of pride, a professor, he's been given 50 million shillings by the president, he would let Madame Grace, whom he doesn't even think so much about, go and redeem his pride? And then she takes credit for it?
My Lord, yesterday Madame Grace said that they were together as a family. The problems came after later. They were together as a family.
And this is, you see, I'm going to keep going back, but I will not go back for a very long time. I'm actually going to stop soon. Do you realize, therefore, that one of the problems we have at this point in time is that you were an intrusion in this family? I mean, that's a fact. Whether they were happy or unhappy, whether they were completely broken apart or not, the fact that there was a human being called Edith somewhere was a very serious intrusion.